to cool down. The clouds have arrived, but a lot of these clouds that are moving in from the west are really thin and high. So what that does, it sort of produces a milky appearance to our sky. It's not going to be a dark gray sky that develops as these clouds continue to move through. We are sitting in the low 60s for Boston, near 50 as we move down toward Nantucket. So a little bit cooler as we move down toward the islands. Quite a bit of a range in our temperatures right now. You can see out toward Fitchburg, 62. We should gain a few more degrees here. Low 60s expected for most spots today. Not too far off from our average in the mid 60s, but after feeling the 70s yesterday, yes, it does feel like a little bit of a cool down. Our 12-hour forecast looking nice and dry in the city, but clouds are increasing through this afternoon into this evening. And while it's dry in the city, you can see some rain that's following a track here along a front that will be clipping us just to the south. So I do think we'll see some additional showers passing over the islands this afternoon. This is paused around 3 o'clock. The rest of us looking dry. That will be moving out to sea as we approach this evening, 6, 7 o'clock. We're then looking ahead to a beautiful outlook tomorrow. Plenty of sun. In fact, I think it will be our brightest day this week. Our next threat on our radar looking very unsettled from Wednesday through Friday. The timeline for showers on the way ahead. Jessica.
All right, Kelly.
Here, yes, I would say mostly in the 60s this week, and in fact, heading into next week, Jessica, an even warmer surge of air looks to arrive. So a little bit of a pattern shift for sure. We are in the 60s for Boston. You can still see it's in the 50s for Worcester, but I expect that we should get close to that 60-degree mark soon. Clouds have moved in, and you'll notice here these clouds, they're high and they're thin, so they're producing sort of a milky appearance to our sky. Filtered sun expected for the rest of today as these clouds continue to ride in from the south and west. They're riding in along a front that is just to our south, and with an area of low pressure that's producing rainfall through portions of southern New Jersey and out into the Atlantic Ocean. This is following a trajectory that will likely clip portions of Nantucket, maybe even the Outer Cape and Martha's Vineyard as we travel toward this afternoon. So that's what's next on our radar, though it's dry from most locations for the rest of today. We are looking at some of those showers that are nearby Nantucket. We're looking ahead to our next threat, unsettled for the second half of your work week. We're really honing in on Thursday as likely our greatest impact from this wet weather that's on the way. But most importantly, your weekend, we're already keeping an eye on it. It does look like we'll start to see this unsettled pattern shifting out and a warmer trend starting to settle in. High temperatures today topping out in the low 60s to even just about 64 in warm spots like Norwood and up through the Merrimack Valley. Average highs at this point in May should be in the mid 60s. So we're trending below today for most spots, although not too far off. I do want to point out it's a little bit cooler down toward the Cape and Islands where temperatures actually struggle to hit the low 50s today, so that will be our cool spot. But speaking of cool, if you look here at the eastern half of the country, we're all feeling a somewhat cooler trend here, especially as you go from Pittsburgh north and east. So there is going to be a shift in that pattern, but for now, we're feeling the influence of this cold front that has shifted through the area and keeping us a little bit on the cooler side of forecast for the next couple of days. High pressure will be moving in, so that will help to bring the sun tomorrow. For today, we still have the influence of this cold front and, of course, that area of low pressure to the south. So even though that low pressure area mainly misses us, I'm concerned that some of these showers could clip the outer portions of Cape Cod, and you can see how it moves toward the islands as we approach the mid-afternoon. So between 2 to about 5 p.m., we'll be watching some of those showers down in southeastern Massachusetts. Most of us looking dry, and in fact, you can see some signs of clearing to our west as early as 6 o'clock this evening, and I expect that clearing process will continue overnight. So as we clear out overnight, we do cool down, upper 30s to low 40s. Setting the stage for a cool start to our Tuesday, but this is actually shaping up to be the brightest part of our week and likely the best day of the week forecast-wise if you had to get outside, as we have a good amount of sun in the forecast tomorrow. It is not going to be a warm day for May standards. We're still below average, but low 60s won't feel all too bad. We have our next area of low pressure, this rain moving in by Wednesday, and this will likely bring some of the heaviest rainfall on Thursday, but this low pressure is slow to move out, so I expect we'll still have rain on Friday. At this point, we are focusing in on Thursday for likely our wettest day. That's why we have declared it an impact weather day. And we could see just about an inch of rain, if not more, between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this is a good slug of moisture on the way.
Good morning. All right, so here's the deal. We're dealing with pretty dense fog out there. It may hinder your drive as well as your flight if you're heading out of San Diego International Airport, or if you're expecting anyone in as far as arrivals go. So maybe double check with them and just make sure that there are no delays or cancellations. We're seeing the fog pretty widespread all the way from downtown. I mean, this is a view right now on the 15 at Villa Rancho, and you could actually see visibility reduced here as well. Some improvement as we move a little more towards the southwest quadrant of the county. This is in Chula Vista, right off the 5 freeway. As folks make their way in and out of National City, either to or from Chula Vista, we're in pretty good shape when it comes to the fog. Look out for a stalled car that is blocking the center divide. This is in Miramar on the 15 South, right after Miramar Road, Palmerado Road. And then we have another hazard, this one on the 52. And if you're wondering what all of this yellow is, again, you probably know by now this is where we're seeing some of the worst of the fog. So right along the 52 and parts of the 15. So on the 52 right now, it looks like an object is blocking the left lane, and that's right on the 52 eastbound after Mast. Even though it's eastbound, the opposite way of where most folks are traveling this morning, it could cause some brake tapping for those who are exiting Santee headed up the summit. All right, let's go ahead and give you a wider view. This is what we'd love to see, right? It looks like Monday light out there, a lot of green out there, meaning we're at steady speeds and really nice travel times. 10 to 15 minutes right now if you're traveling in from the North County. Here's what it looks like traveling inbound from the East County, about 3 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. Eric?
Vanessa,